Yoda, Grogu and Yaddle, they all have something in common. They are all small green frogs, and yes, perhaps you've noticed, they belong to the same species. But despite Yoda and Grogu being among the most beloved characters in Star Wars, very little is known about their species. We know who they are, but not what they are, and there's a good reason for that. George Lucas, he wanted Yoda's species to remain a mystery because he envisioned Yoda as a mystical old teacher who comes and goes. But now that George Lucas no longer holds the reins, I take you on a journey to uncover what the so-called Yoda species might actually be. And before I forget it, along the way we dive into legends, because honestly there's so little info in the current canon that we need to expand our galaxy a bit. And hey, maybe the theory will be canon one day, like when the other things became canon again. But anyway, welcome to a new episode of A Star Wars Theory. Let's start simple. What do we actually know about Yoda species, factually and biologically? Here are their stats. Size and appearance. They are about 0.7 meters tall with green skin. Lifespan, Yoda reached 900 years before becoming one with the Force, and Grogu at 50 is still a baby. Speech style, Yoda's incorrect syntax we all know and love is not universal. Yaddle, another member of Yoda's species, speaks perfect Galactic Basic, which is the standard language in the galaxy. It's comparable to English for us, indicating that Yoda's style is personal rather than biological. And those were all the stats I can give you, for now, which already shows how mysterious his species really is. Okay, I might have lied a bit, because there are more stats, but they are far more important. After all, size isn't everything. We need to take a closer look at them. So pay close attention as I list every known member of Yoda species to figure out what they all have in common. I keep it brief. First of all, Yoda, the OG Grandmaster. Yaddle, Yoda but female. Grogu, baby Yoda. Wanda Tukare, a Jedi from Legends. You could call him Prototype Yoda. Otek, yet another Jedi from Legends. Did you notice the key traits? Here's a quick summary. Every member is force sensitive, aligned with the light side, and the species is incredibly rare. There are only 6 known members in all of Star Wars, and 3 of them are from Legends. But there is, however, a small exception, Baby Yoda. While he was a Jedi Padawan and is force sensitive, he chose the path of a Mandalorian over the Jedi. But that said, you could generally say that they're naturally drawn to the light side, and all are Jedi, unless a cool Mandalorian comes along. And let's not forget, he's still a baby, which kind of takes him out of the equation for now. But anyway, there's not a single representative of the dark side. And no one is not force sensitive. All of them are force sensitive. And that's what makes this species so special. But out of all the things I just pointed out, the most important thing is probably that every member of the species is a light side force user. And that is no coincidence. It's a pattern. It almost seems like they're genetically designed to be Jedi. And this raises some questions. Why are all members of Yoda species force-sensitive beings aligned with the light side? And another question, why are there so few of them? Could they be on the brink of extinction? These are all questions we have to address today to know what Yoda species really is, and either way, their connection to the light side seems intentional. Perhaps they weren't just Jedi, but the original Jedi. But let me explain this in more detail. To crack this case, we have to look at a species we already know about. Maybe not all of you, but some of you. One that's also ancient, mysterious, and deeply tied to the Force. The Sith species. Here, they have their own species, and the name is not misleading. They are the original Sith species, and guess what? They are also canon. You might wonder why I'm mentioning the Sith species. And this may sound crazy, but what if Yoda species is a counterpart to the Sith species? What if there's an OG Jedi species like there's an OG Sith species? What if Yoda species were the OG Jedi species? But what if... No, that's too many what ifs. So how did I come up with this? Here's my evidence. To start, I need to clarify one more thing to you. We already discussed that all members of Yoda species are Jedi or very strongly connected to the light side, and are all force sensitive. So one could say that based on the evidence we've been given in Star Wars, their species is an embodiment of the light side. And now let me briefly introduce the Sith species. The Sith species were an ancient race from the planet Kuruban, and they were powerful, red-skinned, keep that in mind, and completely in sync with the dark side. Their entire existence revolved around it. But what connects them to Yoda species? Let's compare them. The Sith species is an embodiment of the dark side, while Yoda species is an embodiment of the light side. The Sith were red, fiery, and fierce. Yoda species is green, calm, and enduring. Okay, let me backtrack a bit. They might not be the literal embodiment of the dark and light side, but they're definitely very strongly drawn to their respective sides. So you could say the two species are the exact opposites. And if there's a Sith species, why wouldn't be there an OG Jedi species? And let's be honest, if there's an OG Sith species, it's pretty obvious there's somewhere in the universe an OG Jedi species. And if there is such a species, it's clearly Yoda species. And to prove my theory, I also have another clue, and for that we need to look at their skin color, but we also need to delve into legends. Briefly, but we have to. In the Star Wars universe, the color red symbolizes the Sith Order. not just the species, and the dark side is perfectly reflected in their red lightsaber color. Then it also makes sense, of course, that the species has a red skin. Okay, now a question for you. What color represents a Jedi? What color is a lightsaber? I wait. Right, it's green. And what skin color does Yoda have? Right, it's also green. Coincidence? I think not. And before you head into the comment section, yes, I know there's also the blue color, but if you look closely at the meaning of lightsaber colors, it becomes clear which color the OG Jedi species must have. Now this part is legends. The lightsaber color blue indicated a Jedi Guardian, a Jedi who used the Force on a more physical level, and green indicated a Jedi Counselor, a Jedi who preferred to reflect on the mysteries of the Force and fight the dark side at its heart. Okay, personally I think that if there's an OG Jedi species, the explanation of a Jedi Counselor fits way better with it. Do you agree? Write it in the comments. To return to the skin color, even Yoda's skin color reflects the Jedi. Alright, let's revisit all the important questions from the beginning. Why are they so powerful in the Force? Why are they all aligned with the light side? We answered all of them, except for one. Why are there so few of them? And for that, I have no explanation. Sounds stupid? No, but it's just the way it is. We simply have too little information about Yoda, but that's where you come in. Tell me your theory in the comments about why there are so few of them. To conclude my theory, we can say Yoda species is the OG Jedi species, or at the very least is strongly connected to the light side and to the creation of the Jedi. Now, some of you might ask, how can Yoda species be the origin of the Jedi if the Jedi Order from Typhon came first? This is a good question, but the Jedi Order is legends. I know I also use legend info, but my legend info is just an extra point to my theory. But if the Jedi someday became canon again, I also have an answer. But for that, just ask me in the comments and I will drop you an answer. But whether Yoda belongs to the Jedi species or whether the species even exists at all remains unclear, thanks to George Lucas keeping Yoda a secret. However, I still wanted to give you an insight into the theories surrounding Yoda species, and one thing is certain. Yoda species is no ordinary species, and perhaps its mystery will be revealed thanks to, or perhaps regrettably because of, George Lucas handing Star Wars over to Disney. And the most important thing, don't forget, it's only a theory, and if you like this video, please subscribe and like, and until next time.